Welcome to SVG-TV News and Sports for Monday, December 20th, 2021. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The SVG Teachers Union, the Public Service Union, and the Police Welfare Association have filed an application for leave on behalf of unvaccinated members seeking judicial review of the actions taken by some state authorities. At a news conference today, Chief Counsel representing the SVG-TU and the PSU, Jomo Thomas, said that the application was filed today and is for 9 claimants, which include 6 unvaccinated workers.
There are 9 claimants. So there are these organizations, and there are 6 persons, 2 each, from the Teachers Union, the Public Service Union, and the Police Welfare Association. This claim, or this application for judicial review, is being brought against the Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, the Public Service Commission, the Commissioner of Police of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the Attorney General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Thomas explained that they are asking for reviews and declarations to be made by the court as they seek redress for the workers who were laid off. 3,
a declaration that the decision of the second respondent to terminate the employment of the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th applicants without an opportunity for a hearing is a breach of the principle of natural justice. 4, an order in the nature of certiorari to remove into this honorable court and squash the decision by the second respondent to deem the applicants to have resigned from their office and cease to be officer in accordance with Regulation 31 of the Public Service Commission. We are asking the court to give any further relief that the court deems fit, and we are asking as well that cost be applied to the parties. Now,
Thomas added that there were many wrongs meted out to unvaccinated workers and alleges that the government did not follow procedural actions when it came to workers affected, hence breaching the Constitution.
Grenadines made under the said SRNO, and the regulations mandate that every employee specified in the schedule must be vaccinated against the coronavirus disease, that all of these respondents, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, fall within the schedule, that the regulations provide for unvaccinated employees must not enter the workplace and is treated as being absent. Regulation 8.2, which states that Regulation 31 of the Public Service Commission regulations apply to public officers who are absent. So all of these, we are saying, there are a number of these grounds which we think are improper and ultra-virus, and these are the grounds upon which this application is premised. We want to make clear as well that this is a joint application, that while we are applying for judicial review, we are also alerting the court to the fact that we are bringing a constitutional motion which says that all of the actions which the government has taken, including the declaration of the public health emergency, is unconstitutional, illegal, and void because the government did not follow the proper procedure in keeping with the declaration of an emergency.
The Police Welfare Association is being represented by Israel Bruce. Zita Banwell is another lawyer representing the SVG-TU and PSU. They are confident that they have a strong case which they can win. Over 700 nurses will receive honorarium of $500 from the government. The announcement was made on the radio on Sunday by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves.
To be some clarification, and when he clarified with the Ministry of Health, they sent what is a final list. It's a number, I can't remember, 700 and something or thereabouts. And on Thursday, I gave the authorization for these persons to be paid an allowance, a bonus for this particular season of 500.
An honorarium.
An honorarium, sorry. An honorarium. Thank you very much. An honorarium for $500. If it's a number at 700, it's $350,000 it costs. If it's a number closer to 800 obviously of them would be $400,000, whatever the number is.
PM Gonzalez said the nurses should receive the money for Christmas. However, if it is not ready, they will receive it for the new year in January.
I'm hoping that they can get that money before Christmas. All right? But if they don't get it before Christmas, they'll certainly get it for the new year.
Yes.
And the long month. And the long month will be very welcome.
It will be very welcome in the long month.
Yes.
There are some other monies which I pointed out on Friday morning when I called in on Star before I went to the Parliament to pay my respects to Sir James when he was lying in state.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Gonzalez said on his visit to Cuba on Monday, December 13th, he received 300 doses of the Cuban Abdala COVID-19 vaccine as a gift to be administered to 100 Vincentians.
Taking the Abdala because they trust the Cuban vaccine. That's the formulation which I got. And I went to Cuba, as you know, Monday night for the ALBA meeting on Tuesday, the 14th, just gone here, this week gone here. And on Wednesday, we brought back, as a gift from Cuba, 300 doses of the Abdala for 100 persons as a gift. I think we're the first persons to have received Abdala in the Caribbean. And I said to the chief medical officer, please tell me what you want me to order. If there are other persons who want to take, there are some persons have their names down for the Abdala. It's for 100 persons, 300 doses, because 3 doses for each person at the various intervals, and I think it's 2-week intervals.
PM Gonzalez said that many Vincentians have requested the Cuban-made COVID-19 vaccine, even frontline workers, noting that it is the most trusted vaccine.
So the Abdala, I think, was administered some on Thursday, either Thursday or Friday. I know somebody went to Bukaman to get the Abdala, but it hadn't reached down there yet. And they said to me that they were coming into Kingston to get it.
This country's second prime minister, who served in this capacity from 1984 to 2000, the late Sir James Fitz Mitchell, was laid to rest on Saturday, December 18th, 2021, after a state funeral held under full Anglican rites. The first service was held at the Methodist Church in Kingstown and then in his beloved hometown of Beckway in the Northern Grenadines. The funeral services were attended by a number of officials and dignitaries locally and regionally, along with family and friends.
A military parade from the Parliament building to the Methodist Church in capital Kingstown led off the day's proceedings for the first funeral service, where glowing tributes were made for this country's second Prime Minister, Sir James Fitz Mitchell, who hailed from the Grenadine island of Beckway. Reading the eulogy was former Speaker of the House of Assembly, Monty Mall, who recalled a man who served SVG with distinction for many years as its Prime Minister.
His own published reflections highlight many positive relationships with people from all parts of life. He cherished good relationships and promoted the importance of healthy family relationships.
Current Sovereign Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and Opposition Leader Dr. Godwin Friday also paid tribute to Sir James, while a video tribute was made by former Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Kenny Simmons. Delivering the feature address was Dr. Keith Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, who shared some great memories of his friend and former colleague, Sir James.
Sir James is a quintessential Vincentian son, in whom you should be forever be well pleased, From our humble beginnings in Beckway, St. James maintained his humility throughout his life and turned out to be a Caribbean leader of the highest repute. Humility and love are essential attributes, as far as I'm concerned, of any successful politician or any successful service-oriented.
The body of Sir James was later transported to Beckway on a chartered vessel, along with the SVG Coast Guard, which transported Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and other government ministers and dignitaries. As the ferry entered Port Elizabeth, Beckway, the beloved home of Sir James, horns blared for more than 30 seconds. From other ferries docked at the port as they salute the arrival of their fallen hero. For many in Beckway, Sir James was popularly known as Son Mitchell, who had asked that his body stop at the famous almond tree, then proceed to the St. Mary's Anglican Church, where the second service was held. There, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday again paid their final tributes to the man they both respected.
He was generous with his time to me and otherwise. And I believe I myself to him. And in time we became friends. And because each of us held the office of Prime Minister for very long periods of time, we knew and understood each other's challenges.
So James has returned, but more importantly, he has come back to this community that lifted him up and held him up for so many years that he called his Rock of Gibraltar. Or they gave it the name and he adopted it. And they made him their champion, their representatives for so many years.
Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley delivered the feature address. She said Sir James was a good friend, whom she admired as a regional leader and who helped her immensely with her political career. Mottley said SVG has lost a great man.
And I therefore ask us, as I say this afternoon, to remember that we have a duty to tell these stories and to define our region more in terms of what unites us rather than what divides us.
Sir James' eldest daughter Sabrina paid a glowing tribute to her beloved father, whom she said faced many challenges in his private and public life, but never gave up.
His politics was that of the middle class. He didn't believe in just giving a man money. He believed in giving a man a job to earn his own money.
The interment took place at the family's cemetery at Mount Pleasant, Beckway, with gun salute and military band. The SVG flag, which draped the casket, was handed over to his eldest daughter, Sabrina. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves stayed at the gravesite until after 7 p.m. to lay the first wreath. For SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
Read a book, get vaccinated, and plant a tree. Those were the requests by Sabrina Mitchell as she paid tribute to her beloved father, Sir James Mitchell, during the funeral service at the St. Mary's Anglican Church in Beckway last Saturday. Sabrina said her dad was a lover of plants and strongly believes that people should get vaccinated against COVID-19. Hence, she asks that in his honor, Vincentian should carry out any of the 3 simple requests.
It's grave if I don't mention it. As a scientist by profession, he believed in facts. He believed firmly that the vaccine was our best option in this crisis, this COVID-19 crisis. He got his 2 vaccines immediately as they became available. He was very proud of this. He was deeply saddened, worried, and pained by the hesitancy in some of us. He spoke to me about it every day. It mattered to him that we save St. Vincent from ruin. The nurse on duty in the Beckway Hospital, the night before he passed, told me in one of his last conversations that he wants St. Vincent to be vaccinated. Tell them, do it for me. Above all, my father taught me to show gratitude. There is one of 3 things that you can do to honor this man. Read a book, get vaccinated, or plant a tree. Do something for yourself, for SVG, and for all of humanity. Goodbye.
Also on his beloved Beckway in the Northern Grenadines, persons lined the streets at the famous almond tree on the waterfront to the Beckway Anglican Church, where the funeral service continued. Our senior news reporter Larissa Pugsley-Kidd spoke with some residents of Beckway and mainland St. Vincent, who said Sir James was not just a prime minister who they respected, but a hero who they loved for his simplicity.
The best prime minister in the whole world, in the whole Caribbean. That's the best prime minister. He walked, go anywhere without any security, any bulletproof or anything. They have none to compare with him.
A community guy going person, the best prime minister we had. I can remember him at independent time. He come around and give us paint the bushets. I can remember that.
He was always an honorable gentleman, and in my childhood years, I knew him coming through the village of South Rose, where I used to live as a child. And he always humble and always respect of persons, and he will be sadly missed.
The music at the Panty, he always comes around and give us good regards about everything that we do, and he always give us good advice. Continue to go to work, Sir James. I know him from a long time. The old Prime Minister. Until now, he's gone now, rest in peace. So that's why I'm standing here.
There were those who call him Papa, as he took on the role as a father to many, and some of these persons who were in Beckway to bid him farewell spoke on the legacy he left behind.
I'm just standing outside. We were really close. I was just saying that Sabrina is a really strong girl, because if I go up there to try and talk, I would cry. I will definitely cry, because he was well loved.
He loved the young people.
Yeah.
He just loved the young people to be around him. He treated everybody equal. We just know him as like another dad.
We used to call him Papa.
He was like another dad, Papa. Because we used to call him Papa.
When he used to do a little sewing onto it, and he went through the whole thing. He was just like a, and even when he was Prime Minister, he just walk down here with no guards.
I'm the supervisor of the power plant in Beckway. I know he was very attached to the power station. He used to come in and visit us and and talk to us, and he contributed heavily to the electrification of Beckway. So I think that's one of his legacy in Beckway.
And there was a woman there, we never had too many of them in Beckway, so encouraged me. And we get along. It's down to earth. You come and talk to you, you say what's happening today, is everything good? And afterwards I have my own water taxi. You come ask me, how's business today?
And as a small token of appreciation and as a sign of the commitment of the New Democratic Party NDP to continue to pursue the positive vision of Sir James Mitchell for the country, opposition leader and president of the NDP, Dr. Godwin Friday, announced that the party has initiated an annual memorial lecture in Sir James' honor. The party has also renamed the Democrat Hall to Sir James Mitchell Auditorium as executive members of the NDP bid farewell to the party's founder at a special ceremony on Friday at its headquarters.
This will be an opportunity for us as a nation to consider matters of national development and public service, to help to point the way forward, and to inspire particularly young people to embrace the responsibility of creating that way forward. So I announce here again today that we as a party, as his friends, as the bearers of his legacy, take this small step in naming this great hall in which we now witness his passing, in honor of Sir James, so that where we now stand will be called the Sir James Mitchell Auditorium. This will mean that from henceforth, every time we gather here, his name will be spoken and his presence will be felt.
Two of Sir James' daughters, Louise and Sabrina Mitchell, who are in attendance, thanked the NDP for the love and support shown to the family as they grieve and for honoring their father's legacy.
Thank you, Dr. Friday, for the honors that you have bestowed on my father, which I graciously accept today on behalf of the family. But I would warn you, in true Sir James's terms, that if this auditorium is going to be named after him, it always has to be spick and span and absolutely top-notch. And he will say to you that I really appreciate you cleaning up the facade of the headquarters today for me, but I don't want to see it like this just today. I want to see it like this all the time. Thank you to the NDP family. You are all so dear to my father. You brought him a lot of joy in your love and support of him, and we appreciate that friendship and support, and we certainly know that his legacy will live on.
May his soul rest in peace. Over 1,100 students today received the annual $500 award from the government for their performance in the 2021 examinations for CSEC CAPE Associate Degree and Teachers Education programs. The students who are eligible for the cash award were those who passed 5 or more subjects at CSEC, inclusive of Maths and English language, 2 or more subjects at CAPE, along with Communication Studies, and accumulated a GPA of 2.78 or at least a B+ average. Speaking at the award ceremony today, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves congratulated the successful students and said the aim of the cash incentive is to encourage the students and other citizens to continue to pursue excellence.
Particularly those who were going into work, to help them buy some clothes, because I know a practical matter now. I know a lot of people have bling and you have a lot of stuff for your church, but you really don't have many things to wear. It's not unusual. Don't think it's an unusual thing. Same thing happened to me. And of course, there are some persons who are looking forward to the money to help them, and now it's Christmas time now. I had to ask, I had to press the Ministry of Education, and they really followed through well. Because as you know, this year there were several queries with CXC, both for the CSEC and CAPE. And I tell them we can't hold up so many persons for just a handful.
Minister of Education Curtis King also congratulated the recipients of the cash award, noting that amidst the challenges which impact the education system this year, the students persevere and succeed.
Been a most challenging period in your educational sojourn. You had to battle COVID-19. You had to battle the impact, the effects of the explosive eruption of our volcano. You had to battle the hurricane, Elsa, or is it Irma? Can't even remember the name now. You also had the threat of dengue fever hanging over your heads. You had the threat of the annual hurricane season. But yet, you were able to put all of these things behind you. You were able to face all of these challenges and was nevertheless able to come through successfully.
Minister King said that he is very happy that the government continues to make the necessary investment in education.
The necessary investment in our education. And I term it an investment because we do recognize that a small developing country such as ours, we have to work on the resources that we have. And an important component of that resource is our human resource. And we have to develop our human resource. We have to get our human resource to that stage where it can make a significant contribution to our development. So therefore, I want to commend all our students, and more so, you the top students who wrote the external exams for 2021.
And it has just become a bit easier for females who are desirous of pursuing a 2-year associate degree at the Division of Technical and Vocational Studies of the SVG Community College, thanks to an injection of funds for scholarships by the Rotary Clubs of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Rotary Club South, in collaboration with the Rotary Club St. Vincent, donated $144,225 to the college on Friday, December 17, 2021, to assist in providing scholarships to females who wish to attend the Division of Technical and Vocational Studies. The scholarship will cover books, transportation, and more. 20 scholarships will be given to females at a total value of $123,040. Additionally, the Rotary Club has allocated just over $21,000 with the unveiling of another project targeting men in the area of skills training. District Assistant Governor of the Rotary Club, Shafia London Williams, indicated that after the eruption of the La Soufrière volcano, the Rotary Club visited the rural communities that were affected and recognized that many women whose roles were instrumental to family life were impacted severely. London Williams emphasized that it was the club's view that this was an area worthy of pursuit through the empowerment of women by way of education. President of the Rotary Club St. Vincent, Dr. Janelle Allen, expressed elation on embarking on the journey in conjunction with the SVG Community College. She said the education-focused project is one of many projects they will be implementing over the course of the 2021-2022 Rotary year. The president said her excitement extends to the reality that the project is in tandem with the goal of empowering women and girls through vocational skills training in fields that were originally male-dominated, such as automotive repairs, architectural technology, electrical technology, agricultural science, plumbing, and entrepreneurship, which are among the range of options being offered to female recipients.